Running these wires is going to get fairly interesting. I got the main wires, which I think will be fairly easy. I got them ran through the bracket, and then I'm going to run them under the plastic and then back by that tire to the battery. Hopefully that won't be too big of a problem. But then I need to create a new wire that comes off of these relays and goes down and goes to the winch, because if you remember, this box used to sit right on top of the winch, so that wire is only this long. We're definitely going to have to extend it. I wouldn't recommend doing this. I'm sure Warren would not want me doing this, but I think we'll be just fine. Alrighty guys, so I took that wire and I ran it the whole way back here around the box and to the back, but I'm just not happy with it. So here's that wire for the winch, and technically I do have enough to connect it to the negative terminal, but I'm absolutely maxing out this wire. I can't pull it anymore. All the other wires come neatly around the back here and tuck in. And not to mention, I'm starting to get a lot of terminals connected to this battery, and it's starting to get pretty sloppy, so I'm going to clean all this up. So I ordered 2 distribution blocks, so that way each one of those wires is going to sit on its own post, and that's just going to really clean all that up. And then I also went ahead and ordered some new wire. That way I can run the length I want to, and I can route it the way I want to that battery. Won't have any issues there. And since I was doing that, I just went ahead and ordered 6-gauge wire. Now the winch came with 8-gauge, so we are gonna beef that up. I figure, why not, for the extra couple bucks that actually did cost. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that rack and all this plastic just to give myself plenty of room to work back here. All that plastic is off, and I did take a little bit of time to get some odd and ends done. I got little rubber grommets all in the front plastic, and I drilled another hole because for that winch controller little relay box there, we're gonna need 2 wires to go through the plastic and back to the battery, and then we're gonna need 2 more to go down through that plastic into the winch. So got those holes drilled. I also took care of the exhaust. I never did put that shield on, but I got the bolts in, so I got this exhaust shield put on. And then there was also an exhaust bolt that was rubbing the plastic, so I went ahead and cut that down. As far as these distribution blocks go, I think I'm gonna mount the hot one here, and then that way all these hot wires can just go right up there. And I'm gonna have to build some sort of little bracket to kind of hold that off the frame so I can weld some nuts on the backside, so that way I can attach this block. And then I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the backside with all the negative stuff, and the ground wires are just gonna get attached right up to the top of that. So let's go ahead and get these brackets made. Well, you guys, my random bolt bin let me down today. These are M5 screws. I have 2 of them. I need 2 more, then I need 3 more nuts. So I am gonna have to do some shopping because I wanna get those nuts welded onto these little tabs first, and then I can start working on putting little standoffs that are gonna get welded onto that frame. So I'm gonna hop back over onto the 4-wheeler, start routing that wire, and then I'll do some shopping. Got both those winch wires ran, and I did all that pretty much just to bring this guy down through the frame like normal, as opposed to stretching it and running it across here. So now this will go up to that distribution bar and it'll look real nice, real clean. So I did go out shopping and I got my bolts and nuts, so I'm gonna go ahead and get those tacked onto these plates. Those nuts are welded and captured on the back side of this plate, and you can see these bolts are nice and flush and look really good in there. So now in order to attach this to the frame, I'm thinking I'm just gonna build little 1/2-inch plates, weld them to the bracket, and then once I get the whole bracket built, I can weld those 4 tabs to the frame, and that'll hold that on real nice and tight. All right, I got 3 tabs welded onto this bracket, and this is just gonna get tacked onto the frame, just like so. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the frame, get this bad boy tacked in. I'll probably remove the battery too, just so I'm not welding near that thing. Welded the tabs to this plate here, sanded those welds down on the outside, and then tacked the whole thing onto the 4-wheeler. So I guess now we'll see if everything fits up. Make sure it looks good before we get it welded in. I do wish these distribution blocks were a lot smaller, but this is what I could find. Real happy with how that turned out and where it's located, so that's gonna be nice. Now this guy here is gonna be a little bit trickier. I don't have just a straight tube and a nice flat plate to weld to. I got this kind of curved part, this little smushed part here. So I'm probably gonna do the same thing, weld a nice flat tab on this end, and then down here, I'm gonna have to get creative and find a way to create a little bracket and notch it around this tube and then weld it to this other bracket. And I also wanna keep enough room here where I can put the socket in, and then in the back here, I wanna keep it behind this bracket. I don't know, I don't plan on backing anything, but there's a good chance I'm gonna back into something, and I want this piece to be behind all this metal, so that way this gets hit first and I don't mess up my whole battery if I were to do something like that.